singers in her genre, because you have to understand that she's young. And when you're an R&B singer, it's who you are by mistake. I didn't wake up in the morning and say I wanted to sing R&B. This music that she does is a part of her life-changing journey to better. One of the things that I remember about her, I've seen her perform a number of times, but she came to UNC Chapel Hill, and one of the things that I find so phenomenal as an artist myself is what she did for some of the artists in the room. She pulled one of the singers up on stage, gave them their moment to sing with her, and you could automatically see that that was something that was going to inspire that young vocalist to chase their dreams. She's an advocate for this art form. She has an amazing story, an amazing presence, and I know that you're going to appreciate this. So y'all, please put your hands together and welcome Chrisette Michele to the stage.
I'm glad, because that's when you do it anyway.
Hi. It's a lot of y'all today. I love you too. So, I'm supposed to make a speech first, because on the flyers it calls me a keynote address. I was gonna wear a suit jacket, because that sounds like something you wear a suit for, right? Keynote. But I'm gonna just do my kind of keynote. So, long story short, obviously, my hair is happily nappily. If you are happily nappily, make some noise for yourself. Yeah. I've been that way since I was a little girl. I have always thought my hair was really cool. I'm using the word cool because my mom referred to those circles on the side of my head as roses. So I thought that I had little, black roses all over my head. And so as I got older, the roses, got harder and harder to comb, and I became very upset with these roses because, my mother would try to turn them into braids. And she would, smash them onto my head, like only West Indian fingers can do. And I would have what she would refer to as an onion. It was the onion bun that she would put on top of my head. So I've been rosy since I was a little girl. I ended up getting a relaxer, and I had a cherry curl at one point. Yes, I did. I was Michael Jacksonina. As a little girl, and I thought it was the coolest thing, because I could move, I could move my roses around, but they weren't roses anymore. Now they were just like, you know what that looks like. No offense to anyone who has Jerry curl, but you know what I was going through as a kid. And so we grew out of that, and we went back to the little box of relaxing. Now my dad was really, really good. He had big hands, and he used to do my relaxers at home. When I got into middle school and into high school, we moved to an all-white neighborhood. And I was 8 black kids in the school, and I was one of 8 black kids. We had a half pipe in the backyard, and we would take our skateboards out. We had surfboards. We had jet ski, we had boats, we had white people stuff. But at that time, we had black people here. We had Timberlands, we had Tommy Hilfiger shirts on. We was black. We didn't have Abercrombie & Fitch. We didn't wear no Dr. Martens. And we didn't have no Birkenstocks on. Now, I have Dr. Martens now. I understand you got Dr. Martens on. Calm down. It's not about you. But we didn't have those things. So at this point, I was natural, and the white kids would come to my hair, and they would touch it. Oh my God, it's freaking like cotton, bro. It's like so cool. How did you do that to your hair? It's like, I don't know, bro. I just woke up like this. And that's when I found out that my hair was so cool. I didn't realize how cool it was until the most beautiful white girl in the school. She was so gorgeous. She was tall. She was like American Eagle commercial. She came into my hair. We were in show choir together. I was the only black kid in show choir. I didn't get any solos. Just put me in the back all the time. Then I started the African American club in a pep squad, and I told the white girls how to step dance. I was like, I'll show you. I'll be in the front. But anyway, so Erin came over to my hair and she touched. She said, "Oh my God, your hair is so cool. I love your hair." And I do. And you know, in that day, you know, us, the 8 of us, we would bring, you know, $3 or $4 to school and get school lunch. But then they would bring like little paper bags for lunch. They would have peppered turkey, it had to be boar's head, and off the vine tomatoes cut into their sandwich, and mustard, not mayonnaise, because they were in the cheerleading squad. And white bread, and it had to be Poland spring or Fiji water, and maybe an apple or grapes, maybe, if they were counting their carbs and they had enough carbs for their apples or their grapes. These are the kids I grew up with, you gotta understand. These are the people that I was around as a kid. It's traumatizing. Because I would go to I would get a ham and cheese sandwich, you know, or maybe some pizza. And I didn't know, I didn't even know that I didn't look like them, is the crazy part. I didn't even know how different I was until right after school, right after college. I just had gotten to my last year in college, and I got signed to a record label. And all of a sudden, I went to, you know, Def Jam, and they signed me the day they met me. I had on a Bob Marley track jacket, and he had like, you know, dreads on the picture, and had ripped up jeans. And they put me in what they referred to as the urban department. I didn't know at the time that urban was code for black.
Code for black.
No, I didn't know that. So there were urban dollars and there were pop dollars. The urban dollars got the dollars that we get. The pop dollars got the dollars that they get. So I said, man, this is so great, I'm so excited. I'm on Def Jam and I'm with Island and I'm at Universal. I'm gonna get to do a solo with Kobe Calais. So I wrote the song Best of Me because I thought, man, I'm gonna show this to Kobe Calais, boy. We gonna do this record together. Kobe Calais, you know, I had to, that didn't work out. Didn't work out. So I said, oh, so we're gonna put Best of Me on urban radio? Now they explained to me the difference. There's urban radio and then there's pop radio. And he said, well, your music is gonna go to the urban radio. So okay, so I'm gonna go sit down with the urban people. He said, yeah, your first stop is the Wendy Williams show. I said, okay. Now I didn't know much. I had never owned a Gladys Knight CD. Shh, give me a break. I had never owned a Patti LaBelle record. I had never had, I was hanging out with Jay-Z one day, and we were at a Lionel Richie concert, and he had on his, you know, his outfit. He was being a grown-up. And he looked down at me, he said, you don't know none of the words? I said, no, I don't know none of the words. He said, you're weird. I was like, okay, this is bad. I gotta get me to a record store. So I went to the record store and I bought every single album with an afro or a brown skinned woman on the front cover. I bought I spent my whole advance at this little store in Philadelphia, and I'm from New York, but I went to Philadelphia and I got every single album I could find, and I listened to them over and over and over again. Next thing I know, I'm in the studio and it's time for me to write, and I'm sitting down next to Babyface, and I'm sitting down next to these superstar producer kind of people, and I say, now let me write a song that sound kind of like how, you know, they be sounding when they be singing these songs. And so I started singing, and I burnt some candles. I got into the zone, I ordered me some Chinese food. No lie. And that was the day I wrote If I Have My Way. And it was crazy because then people would say stuff like, oh my God, you sound like so-and-so. And they would name one of the many CDs that I had bought, you know, that day in the record store. I say, man, that's pretty crazy. Thank you. You know, I would say thank you. And then I would try to become like those people. So I would want to stand up straight. I want to be a lady on stage. I must speak clearly and be poised like these women. I studied the beautiful women like Diana Ross and Dorothy Dandridge, and I thought these were beautiful, beautiful examples for our community. My hair, we went to put out my first album, and on the first album, the song If I Have My Way was the first single. And at the time, my hair was happily nappy. It was this big fro, and it had blonde tips on it, and I was very, very proud of it. And so they, you know, there's the they, kind they, don't get the wrong idea. But there was a they said, how do you want to do your hair? I said, you want to keep it the way it is, or you want to do a long weave? It was obstacle number one. And it was a big obstacle because I didn't know that that would define so much of who I was and what I would be expected to do in the Black community. I had no idea that if my hair was straight versus rosy, that it would define who I was. Our hair in the Black community has so much to do with what we represent, what we're trying to say, what we think is great and what we think is not so great. I put a weave in my hair, and all of a sudden, I'm on rap songs, I'm doing songs with Jay-Z and Nas and Rick Ross and just all of these rappers. And I don't want to say it had anything to do with the way that I look. But finally I said, you know what, I miss my roses. I wasn't thinking, let me change back to who I was. I was just thinking, I miss my roses. That was it. It wasn't like a big, I'm having a coming to Jesus, I'm going through something really awful, and I want to shave my head. It wasn't like that at the time. It was, I just want to see my roses again. So I took my hair down, and I took out my natural hair, and all of a sudden, I was Black again. All of a sudden, I had to be asked all of these questions about what it's like to be natural in the music industry. I had to answer questions like, what is it like to be a curvy woman in the music industry? Is your standard of beauty accepted in the music industry? And it was strange to me because I really didn't do it to say I am something else in the music industry. I just thought my Black was beautiful. I wasn't trying to be anything except who I was. That was it. All I want to say today is that the way that we decide to wear our hair is not always for what somebody else has to say about it or a stand that we're trying to make. At the end of the day, our hair is just beautiful however it is that we decide to wear it. The crazy, interesting thing about it all is that when I went back natural, I was in more magazines and I got more interviews than I had ever gotten for beauty magazines like, you know, Essence and Mary Claire and things like that. I was more accepted in those type of forums than I had ever been accepted before. The funny thing about people is they like us just the way we were made. You never realize that until you become exactly who you are the first time. All of a sudden people say, oh my God, that's so amazing. I was at Anthropology the other day. Anybody shop at Anthropology? Right. I was at Anthropology the other day. I was buying candles, darling. And this lady walked up to me. She said, ma'am, I'm standing here and I'm looking at your hair. And I just wanted to know if, it's just dropped at court. I just wanted to know, can I just take a picture of it? I just want to take a picture of your hair. How did you do that? And I'm just being myself. Now, obviously, this is not all my hair. Duh. But what I'm saying is, we have a natural way about us. Our natural, what is us becomes us. So I don't have much to say in the topic, except be happily, nappily you. I think that's really the end all be all. Be happily, nappily you. Stand up with confidence, be beautiful just the way that you are, and enjoy yourself, have fun with it. Don't make such a big deal out of it. Don't make such a big, scary, monstrous, animal, spooky statement out of it. Just be beautiful. People appreciate it when you're standing online, when you're walking down the street. People just want to look at us because we are just beautiful. So no matter which thing you decide to do with your hair, with your body, with your face, with your makeup, whatever it is, make sure it's true to who you are. Just do it because you want to do it and watch how people respond. I love all of y'all here. Y'all all look freaking amazing. Y'all all look freaking amazing. Listen, don't forget to watch me, or don't watch me. You know, it's up to you. But either watch me or don't watch me on R&B Divas Los Angeles. It was the scariest thing. The scariest thing I ever did in my entire life. Who made up reality television? Does anybody know that person? Find him for me. I need to meet him. But don't nobody need to see you doing what you do every single day or every single day. There's just don't nobody need to see that. Huh?
The Osbournes created it.
So I want to sing some songs.